Uh, 19 facts that prove things in America are worse than they were just 6 months ago. Just 6 months ago. Yet we get all these numbers from the government. Things look great. 5% unemployment. But we need to have an emergency Fed meeting today, off the record. And immediately following that, I need to have an emergency meeting with the White House after that. Fed Chair Yellen, also private. We don't want to tell you what we're going to discuss, sheeple. But might have a slight inclination as to what might be being discussed. And it's all about all those fake numbers and the fact that the government knows damn well it's all fake and things are getting worse. Reason I say I might have a little slight inclination as to what's going on, or maybe what was being discussed potentially, was because I just read the Webbot report. And I pretty much have an agreement with Cliff High, who owns that whole thing, Webbot, that I can just try to keep my videos down on the summaries down to 30 minutes or less. Because sometimes I would go out there for an hour and read, because there's a lot of stuff I want to get out, even though I didn't read all of it, which is still a long time. So I certainly agreed, since it's a privilege for me to do this in the first place, no problem. So for a while now, I've been doing it, trying to keep it right at 30 minutes or so. And I find myself quite a lot of information on the USA Pop entity that I had to remove that one, remove that. And I'm left with 7 pages currently to read as a summary. Man, did I have to leave a lot of stuff out, and man, did I not want to. But feeling a little under the weather last couple of days. I actually took the day off today, as I mentioned in my other videos. And I'm sitting here debating right now, as I'm about to do this video, because this isn't going to be a half-hour video here. Should I do the Webbot summary right after this with my, nasal sounding, junk? Who wants to hear my voice like this for the next 30 minutes? I have a feeling most of you will say, oh, no, we don't care. Go ahead. So I may just go ahead and do that. Because I'm at home, I can hit pause on this thing if I got to blow my nose or something. Unless it happens too quick, and I can't catch the pause button. But I may try and do that. So on with this, one of my favorite sites to view from time to time, the economiccollapseblog.com. Has the U.S. economy gotten better over the past 6 months, or has it gotten worse? In this article, you will find solid proof that the U.S. economy has continued to get worse over the past 6 months. Unfortunately, most people seem to think that since the stock market has rebounded significantly in recent weeks, that everything must be okay. But of course, that is not true at all. If you look at a chart of the Dow, a very ominous head and shoulders pattern is actually forming. And all of the economic fundamentals are screaming that big trouble is ahead. When Donald Trump told the Washington Post that we are heading for a very massive recession, he wasn't just making stuff up. We are already seeing lots of things happen that never take place outside of a recession, and the U.S. economy has already been sliding downhill fairly rapidly over the past several months. With all that being said, the following are 19 facts that prove things in America are worse than they were just 6 months ago. Number 1. Factory orders, U.S. factory orders, have now declined on a year-over-year basis for 16 months in a row. And as Zero Hedge noted, in the post-World War II era, this has never happened outside of a recession. Number 2. Factory orders have now reached the lowest level that we have seen since the summer of 2011. Number 3. It is being projected that corporate earnings will be down 8.5% for the first quarter of 2016 compared to 1 year ago. This will be the 4th quarter in a row that we will have seen year-over-year declines. And the last time that happened was during, you guessed it, the last recession. Number 4. Total business sales have fallen 5% since the peak in mid-2014. Number 5. S&P 500 earnings have now fallen a total of 18.5% from their peak in late 2014. Number 6, corporate debt defaults have soared to the highest level that we have seen since 2009, which I just did a video on that recently. The default cycle, it has begun. Remember that one? It is officially begun. Number 7, the average rating on U.S. corporate debt has fallen to BB, which is lower than it has been at any point since the last financial crisis. Number 8, the U.S. oil rig count just hit a 41-year low. Number 9, 51 oil and gas drillers in North America have filed for bankruptcy since the beginning of last year, and according to CNN, we could be on the verge of seeing the biggest one yet. And I will also agree to that. That is a big 10-4. Number 10, according to Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, job cut announcements by major firms in the U.S. were up 32% during the first quarter of this year, 2016, compared to the first quarter of 2015. Number 11, consumers in the U.S. accumulated more new credit card debt during the fourth quarter of 2015 than they did during the entire years of 2009, 10, and 11 combined. Existing home sales in the U.S. were down 7.1% during the month of February, and this was the biggest decline that we have witnessed in 6 years. 13, subprime auto loan delinquencies have hit their highest level since the last recession. Number 14, the Restaurant Performance Index in the U.S. recently dropped to the lowest level that we have seen since the last recession, 2008. Major retailers all over the country are shutting down hundreds of stores as the retail apocalypse accelerates. Number 16, if you take the number of working-age Americans that are officially unemployed, which is 8.1 million according to them, and add that number to the number of working-age Americans that are considered to be not in the labor force, 93.9 million, that gives us a grand total of 102 million working-age Americans that do not have a job right now. There's only, 320 or so, roughly, million people in America? That's a third of the population. Since peaking during the, and granted, there are children who we wouldn't count in that. So, of the people who can work, there's 102 million that can work but aren't working. What about the rest of us? The real unemployment number could be, unbelievably higher than we thought. 17. Since peaking around the third quarter of 2014, U.S. exports of goods and services have been steadily declining. This is something that we never see outside of a recession. Number 18, the cost of everything related to medical care just continues to skyrocket, even though our wages are stagnating. According to the Social Security Administration, 51% of all American workers make less than $30,000 a year, and yet the cost of medical care just hit a brand new all-time high. Affordable Care Act, baby. The Affordable Care Act. I love saying that, just like I love saying the Patriot Act. It's so patriotic. The Affordable Care Act. Everything government tells you that sounds sweet and lovely is the opposite. Affordable Care Act means not affordable. Extremely unaffordable. Patriot Act, not patriotic, patriotic in the least kind of way. Number 19, our government debt continues to spiral out of control. At this point, it is sitting at a staggering $19.2 trillion, but when Barack Obama first entered the White House, it was only 10.6. Granted, it was actually 9 point something, because remember, as Bush was leaving, Oh, let's jack it up one quick time as he leaves office. Next president steps in, we'll jack it up again, 10.6, 10.6 or 10.2, 10.6. They tried to pull a fast one on us. That means that our government has been stealing an average of more than $100 million an hour from future generations of Americans every single hour of every single day since Barack Obama was inaugurated. Whew. And I want to share this little chart with you, honestly. Why is that? Yeah, hang on one second. Get rid of that. Just quickly show you this little chart right here. I can't click on it. It takes me to Amazon, but federal debt, total public debt. Look at what it was down here in 1970. Then 1980, we hit our first $1 trillion. Look at this. 1990, year 2000, it's up to $6 trillion, right? Bush takes over, leaves office. It's up to 9 point something, 10 trillion. Barack Obama takes office. Holy crap. You can see this angle here, right, from 1980 to 2000. Then Bush takes office. That angle sharpens a bit. Then Barack Obama takes office. Holy crap, we're almost going straight uphill. And again, I'll say it for God knows how many times I've had to say this over the last few years. It would not have mattered if McCain had won, Romney won. Doesn't matter, not even kind of. Why? I've said this before too. It's a very good analogy. The presidents are conductors of a train. The train is already going down a path, train tracks, to a destination. They're a big shot. I just got elected. Hey, I'm going to fix everything. Excuse me, sir. You're in a train that is always going forward. It's actually picking up steam in speed. And you're going to last 4 years, maybe 8 years in that train as a conductor, going down a predetermined set of tracks. So once again, 1 trillion, 1980, 6 trillion, 2000, Barack Obama, 10 point something trillion turns to 19.2 trillion. He's just the conductor of the train. The train's going down the tracks. The Congress says, yep, we're going to up that debt ceiling. The debt ceiling is upped. We call that kicking the can down the road. Why do they keep kicking this? Love people. Why are they kicking this can down the road? Why don't they just deal with it? Just fix the freaking budget and deal with it. How does one deal with something that is not able to be dealt with? There are tens of trillions of dollars in unfunded liabilities. Why don't they just fix the budget? There are tens of trillions of dollars in unfunded liabilities. They can't. They could have a long time ago. We got taken off the gold standard and all that. Then we had to make the dollar the world reserve currency, and we made sure all the Middle Easterners, you guys are going to sell your oil for our dollars, world reserve currency. Yep, okay. That was our way out of this mess we saw way back then. They knew back then if we can get the whole world to use our dollar, buy and sell and trade oil for dollars only, US dollars only, we can essentially have the world finance our debt. But now that era is coming to an end, and the debt has absolutely skyrocketed out of control, it has to be dealt with. There is no fixing the budget, no fixing the debt. It can't be. If Donald Trump wins, you and I both know that's not going to happen because the club has already selected Hillary. But if he did, he's still the conductor of the train that's about to go off the cliff. Mr. Trump, you've now taken over 19 point something trillion dollars. Have at it, buddy. Take care. What do you think he could possibly do? Number one, Congress will be creating the bills and trying to get the bills passed. And remember, Donald Trump, I'm a deal maker. I make deals. I'll make a deal. Oh, you want to raise the debt ceiling? I'll make a deal with you, right? He would make a deal. But no deal can deal with unfunded liabilities. The money isn't there. It never was there. And that chicken is coming home to roost. So I wanted to share these 19 things thanks to the economiccollapseblog.com. These are hard numbers. This is something, you can't, deny. You can't say, oh, that's made up. That's fake. Nope. It's all there. The information is there. It just takes someone wanting to go and look at it. The average person would rather say, let me just turn on the news. I'm going to have to go search for stuff. Just turn on the news. I'm sure they'll keep me up to date. Oh, they'll keep you up to date with pure propaganda. So, to do the Webbot report right now, or not to? I don't know. And if you don't see it tomorrow morning, then I didn't do it, and it'll be the next day. I just don't want this annoying sound to permeate throughout your ears for a half hour straight. Then again, you just listened to about 15 minutes worth of it anyways. But we'll see. Take care.